So you ready to go? You want to go on the radio now? Is this show running tonight so JJ can have her friends listen?
What's today? Wednesday? Yes.
Okay, so the show will actually run on the radio at 8 p.m. on ESPN.
All right, I'll make sure.
Now we're already on social media, so hello. Now we will go on the radio.
Now, Behind the Law with Justin Clark and Allie Mack on ESPN 580 Orlando.
And welcome to the program. It's another edition of Behind the Law right here on ESPN 580 Orlando. Thank you for spending your evenings here with us on our favorite sports radio station. 8 o'clock p.m. We follow live, local, loud, great show. Nikki Football and the crew. Brianna is here to my right. Hello, Brianna. How are you?
Better when my mic is on.
You know, it's funny when you don't show up for work and you don't show up for the show. I forget sometimes to turn your mic on. You know, I'm just so happy to see you here, and you weren't here yesterday. I didn't turn the mic on because you weren't here yesterday.
I had a sick day.
But we have to talk. Justin Clark here with you, by the way.
Hey,
do you have any questions? 321-282-1055. So yesterday we had a fill-in producer.
We did.
Tyler. He did just a fantastic job.
Yeah. The guy has a voice for radio.
He told me on the air, and I quote, Brianna texted me 20 seconds before the show. Now, when I approached you about this here just a minute ago before the show, you say, I called him an hour in advance or something like that. What was it? How long in advance did you really call in sick yesterday for the show?
As I pull up my phone records, because when you work with an attorney, let me tell you, you need to come with facts and figures and the screenshots because he's not going to believe you otherwise.
Well, wait, and we're going to do the news. We'll also play Stump the Clarkie in the second half hour and an awesome interview with JJ Mackel. She is with Regal Real Estate Professionals throughout the show. JJ, I'll welcome you in, first of all. How are you, JJ?
I'm doing great. Thanks for
of course.
having me.
Very nice to have you. So what time did you really text Tyler
So I actually called him.
Showing up?
I need you to know. I called him.
Okay, I'm just saying. Let's see the time. I mean, look, it is 2019.
It is 2019.
We do know what time people called.
Yesterday.
Because, seriously, a minute ago you said it was an hour before. He tells me it was 20 seconds. So
It wasn't 20 seconds.
I'm guessing it was probably about 5 minutes or so before the show.
No. So I called him twice at 3:31.
Okay. So
Before that, I text him.
So 29 minutes. Okay.
No, I think it was more than that because I texted him and then we weren't able to jump on the phone right away because he didn't pick up the first time I called him, and then he called me back about 30 minutes before the show.
Anyway, so did you go wait in line for Trump last night?
That's where I was at.
You really did?
No.
Oh.
It's Tuesday. I had laundry. I had things.
Bull.
I think you should have Snapchatted with a cute little kitty face saying that you weren't going to show up.
You know what?
It makes it a little bit better, you know?
I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, Independent. I don't care what you are. That guy is instant classic television. No matter what he says, it is hilarious. You can hate him as much as you want, but you must say when you watch his speech, which I don't do very often, it's just, he was in Orlando last night, so I was watching it. Mm-hmm. Hilarious. I mean, it is so funny. It is must-watch television, don't you think?
It's I wouldn't say must watch. I didn't watch the whole thing. However, it is entertainment. I mean,
I can't remember some of the stuff he gets right into it, man.
Absolutely.
He does not care what anyone thinks. And I mean, that is why middle America really loves him so much, because he says kind of what's on their mind, but they're too afraid to say.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Anyway, what do you have in the news today, Brianna?
So, in the news today, really, really interesting. I know you've been following this story. Yet another American has died in the Dominican Republic.
I'm telling you guys, as much as I love to go to the DR, when we go, we do not stay in all-inclusive resorts anyway. Okay. But it seems like the mini bar at these all-inclusive resorts is not the stop you want to make before you go to bed right now.
Getting them. No. The FBI has definitely gotten involved. So
can I tell you something else about the Dominican Republic?
Go ahead.
And especially the mini bars in the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Even if it did not have poison in them, the alcohol that they put in the mini bar at these all-inclusive resorts would kill you anyway, just because it's so nasty. It is the bottom of the barrel stuff. So even if you're not going to get poisoned, I recommend staying away from the mini bar at the all-inclusive resort.
These are the things. Absolutely. Speaking of vacation, there's a video out about Myrtle Beach. I think you could love this. There are people swimming in the ocean, and there was a shark less than a foot away from them the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it.
Well, that's common.
It's-
They're
I
swimming all
believe it.
around
There was
us.
just like an aerial view, and it was just the whole. And they were just playing, got their kids out there, not a care in the world. Shark is right there.
You know, people say I'm not manly all the time, so I can admit this. I don't swim in the ocean at all. I mean, I really don't. I will swim in the ocean if it's like super clear and there are a bunch of people around.
Yeah.
We go to my little beach house out in Ormond, and it's like so dark. You
It
can't
is
see
dark.
anything. I'll barely
Anything
put my,
past your ankles is.
I
forget
barely
about it.
put my feet in.
No,
I'm
no, no.
sorry. I mean,
I
call
only
me-
swim with lifeguards.
Oh yeah, that's it. You're afraid of rip currents. I'm afraid of sharks. I feel like, look, if a rip
Sharks are
current's
real.
gonna get me, I'll just let it take me out, and then I'll figure
Just
out how to come
swim
back
back.
in.
Yeah.
Sharks. I don't know.
The
And
thing
even
gets
jellyfish.
you. Even a lifeguard's not gonna come get you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even like jellyfish. I don't want you guys having to pee on me.
I will gladly do it, just for the record.
That's
I
disgusting.
want you to know.
I think you'd like it.
Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando, Justin Clark here with you. Brianna's to my right. JJ Mackel joins us from Regal Real Estate Professionals. Brianna, what else is in the news today?
Yeah, so just a public service announcement. There's been an uptick in dog paw pads burning. So sometimes,
Time out. What?
yeah, the paw pad of a dog literally burned off because the concrete was so hot. And the owner didn't realize that the concrete was too hot for him. And veterinarians have been saying that, there's been an uptick in dogs' paws either burning, and then this particular dog, his paw pads actually ended up burning off. So they say, just as a rule of thumb, if the pavement is too hot for your hand, it's too hot for your dog's paw pads. So I know you have dogs, and all of our other listeners that have dogs out there. It's Florida. It's hot. So maybe walk them in the grass, or just be conscious of how the pavement, how hot that is. Because
I've seen dog booties. A lot of people in Baldwin Park have little dog booties.
Really?
So
Is
Yeah, I'd
that
rather
what's
just
going
walk
on?
my dog on the grass than buy the dog booty, but
Just find a good
I'm
patch
just
of
saying.
grass, and you're okay.
it'd be a good real estate gift.
there you go.
Yeah, I know grass is
yeah.
little-
Welcome
yeah.
to your new
Branded
home.
dog booties.
Welcome to your new home.
Grass is
Here are your
scarce in
dog
Baldwin
booties.
Park.
But it is a good point. I mean, the pavement and the cement even gets
gets a little
really,
hot.
really hot.
It gets
So
a little
that's something I haven't thought about, but thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah, and that's about all I have.
Anything else in the news tonight?
No.
Thank you, Brianna. Justin Clark here with you. All right, JJ Mackel joins us today. She's a real estate agent with Regal Real Estate Professionals. JJ, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Any particular area that you really focus on?
I focus on everything pretty much, but residential real estate.
Value. I just did a whole show today about value because, look, we live in a very advanced technological time in our society, right? You can go try to find out the value of your home on 37 different websites in 2 seconds. However, I know that they're wrong because if you go to 3 or 4 different websites to look at the value of your house, they're all going to be different. I mean, if someone's really thinking about selling their home and they want to kind of know what the house is worth, what do you recommend? How do they really figure out what the house is worth?
I think it's such a good question, and I loved seeing your interview with Rick Sin today from the Orange County Property Appraiser. I really show them the comps, and I show them homes that are priced more than them and maybe renovated or newer and then priced below value, and we sort of meet in the middle, and it's just a good idea to look at that. It's also a way of, you don't want to overprice when you renovate. If you're renovating above the price in your neighborhood, you'll never get the value out of it. So when you're looking at value, the homes that are selling the fastest right now are renovated or new, all with that white sort of farmhouse modern look. And then the other homes, as long as they're priced aggressively, buyers are looking at them. But buyers want turnkey ready.
So we lived in 2006, the absolute peak of the real estate market. And you and I lived through 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, the absolute bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
We lived through these really turbulent times real estate-wise. I think we're very clear that over the last 3 years, maybe, I mean, we've really been in a seller's market where the prices have been ticking up. Now, I've heard that maybe it's leveling out. Maybe they're even going down a little bit. If someone's really in the market to buy a house right now, are the market prices going up or are they going down? Let's answer that question with JJ Mackel right on the other side of this very short break. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Okay.
How short's the break?
We can take as long as we want because
Oh,
we're
okay.
recording and it'll run at 8.
And your mic is still hot, so they can still hear you on social media.
Oh, there.
That's all.
How's the family?
They're good.
Your
I'm
kids are
excited.
how old now?
What?
Kids are how old?
Oh, 10 and 12. So they're doing all-star baseball.
Oh, wow.
That's my summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, my husband's like, I want to take this vacation. And he's like, nope.
Yeah, can't do it this week. Oh, can't do it that week. We have the Tuesday and Wednesday available in mid-July, though. We can.
Luckily, we live in a vacation.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Right.
you know,
And you live in Baldwin?
I live across from it in
Okay.
Winter Park and Quail
Okay.
Hollow. So,
All right, you ready?
Whenever you are.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the program. Justin Clark here with you for another edition of Behind the Law. Watch the TV shows this weekend as well, and every single weekend. Saturday, 12:30 p.m. on CBS. It is You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. And then Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. on TV 27. It is this show, Behind the Law, but it's Behind the Law on television. So check us out right there. Also, join us during the week. Follow at Behind the Law Radio on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can watch us and interact with us right there. Brianna is here to my right. Hello, Brianna. How are you?
Hello, Justin.
Any word on new Brianna? Have we heard anything?
Yeah,
Is she
she's
okay?
coming back next week.
Okay, finally, right? She's been gone, what? This will be 2 weeks?
1 week.
I don't know.
She left
Look,
last Wednesday.
Time flies by. It feels like it's been a couple of weeks,
I know.
right?
Yeah.
So you've had to have a little bit more input in the show here over the last few days.
Just a little bit, yeah. Yeah, I had to rearrange my schedule a bit, but hopefully we can get back to...
Talking all things real estate. Joined today by JJ Mackel. She's with Regal Real Estate Professionals. Who
Hello,
are you guys
hello.
associated with, by the way?
Regal Real Estate is affiliated with Christie's International Real Estate, which is fabulous. We get to feature our clients in the Wall Street Journal, obviously in all of Christie's marketing, and we can put them in the Christie's International Real Estate book. And we also are affiliated with the auction house.
That's what I was going to say. Isn't Christie's like a major auction
It
house?
is,
Like,
it
what do they
is.
auction? Paintings that we can't afford, things like
James
that?
Bond's car. I mean, the
Okay.
Playboy Mansion. I mean,
Okay.
no, actually, that was in the international. But jewels, paintings. So a lot of our clients actually have used those services.
Really?
They have.
So you're high-end stuff, huh?
Well,
little bit.
we market everything.
All right. So talk to me a little bit about the current state of the real estate market. 2006, the absolute peak of the market. I don't think we have any sort of debate about that. And then all of a sudden it crashed. I mean, it crashed for so many different reasons. And we've been told over the last 2 or 3 years that we're very much in a seller's market, that the prices have been going up, competition with every listing. Where are we at now?
I think that's true and not true. In my personal opinion, obviously there's several, outlets for that. We're steady. I think that there's a healthy supply of buyers, but again, they're wanting turnkey ready homes. So if your home is turnkey ready or it's new, you're going to get the higher price. There's just a lot of inventory. And so that's why you're finding the jumbo loans to be sitting on the market, some of them a little longer, because they're competing with a lot. If your home is below $400,000, it is flying off the market quite fast. I also think that for Orlando, we've got Lockheed Martin, a new research and development. UCF's expanding at a rapid rate. We've got a new hotel. We've got some more, like Lake Nona. Our area is experiencing immense amount of growth. And our jobs are looking great in the Orlando economy. And we've also got Merritt Island. If you look at Orlando 10 to 20 years from now, long-term wise, I think we're great. I think that you're going to see a lot with the space industry. I've seen a lot of growth with that. I've also seen, I think Zillow's kept us number 2 in the nation, and we're in the top 10 on other lists. So I see very favorable predictions for Orlando's housing market.
Boots on the ground. Let's say I'm a buyer. I'm looking to buy a place right now. We've gone through a place. 2006, you needed a pulse and a pen. You get a mortgage, right? 2010, it took an act of Congress to get a mortgage. Now, 2019, I'm a buyer. I'm looking to purchase a home. How hard is it to get a mortgage?
I mean, I think it's fairly easy. I mean, a lot of the buyers are getting better tax returns. We had to, push some of the other ones away for a while, including myself. I had a couple of 2 years where that really hurt me. Now I think people are experiencing the healthy job market, and that's and also I think we're at 4.18 around there. I mean, we've got a decent mortgage rate, but I think we're in a good time to buy a house, and if you can afford a down payment, a lot of lenders are making it happen.
Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando, 321-282-1055. Attorney Justin Clark here, talking to JJ Mackel, Regal Real Estate Professionals. You talked earlier about turnkey. So if I'm a seller, right, and I want to get my house up to a turnkey place where the buyer comes in and it's turnkey, what does that mean exactly? Does that mean they don't have to do anything?
Yes, it does. But I think the biggest issue first is to make sure your house is insurance ready. Have it replumbed if it has old plumbing or it has plumbing issues. Have it rewired, because when buyers walk in and have questions, they don't know how much it's going to cost to repair or fix it. Make sure the roof is within a certain amount of, where it can pass a wind mitt. I think then the second level would be to modernize it and to declutter as much as possible. So. Yeah, realtors love to declutter. Uh-huh. And then, maybe also look at some of your favorite hotels or as inspiration on when a buyer walks in and has that wow factor. And the reason you bought the house is the reason another buyer might buy the house. But turnkey is basically as less work as possible.
Let's talk about decluttering for a minute, because
I like decluttering.
My mom, I love her so much. She's just a fantastic lady. But something about growing up in Tennessee, we like to collect stuff, it seemed like, and just put stuff all over the walls. And she has this beautiful house, maybe 5 years. They built it 4 or 5 years ago. But it was just, there was so much stuff. There was just so many things on the walls, and we went to go visit them. We always go up there for Memorial Day to go visit. And she was like, I hired someone to come in, spent like 3 days decluttering. And I didn't really know what that meant. When I walked into her house, JJ, it was like it was a new house. I mean, it was so open and clean. The decluttering really made it look like a different house. Have you ever seen anything like that?
Yes, and when I see a bunch of clutter, you're not wanting to sell your items, you're wanting to sell your house. Yeah. And you're also wanting them to remember your house and the layout and not, your cute shotskis. And then, there's also a question of you have to keep that clean if you have it cluttered, because then it looks dirty. But yes, that's our first thing is depersonalizing it. So when someone walks into that space, they see it as their own and not you.
How do you have that talk with someone, though? They've lived there for 20 years. They love that vase that's, doesn't make any sense in the living room. They love the pictures from 1980 on the walls. How do you have that talk but still be respectful? What do you say?
I just start decluttering for them. Let's move this here and that here. No, you just show them the other listings and they're getting a higher price because they're more simple. And they see that. They want the highest dollar for their house. And that's why they hired you and they didn't sell it on their own.
And they did hire you. They hired you for a reason.
Right.
How important, though, is it to stay local with your listing agent? Do you want a listing agent that really knows that area? Do you want someone who is really versed in Baldwin Park, or they really know Lake Mary, or does it really matter at the end of the day?
It does and it doesn't. I think as far as Central Florida, we work in all aspects. I just listed a house in Apopka, but I live in Winter Park. I work in Winter Park and Baldwin Park and Maitland. Obviously, I think it's good to refer when you get too far out. Like I refer to agents in Tampa or Miami, or even out of state, because you want their expertise. And we agents work together, because when I have people in a certain area, they can refer to me, I can refer to them, and it makes us look like rock stars because we know a little bit more about that other area.
Outside of decluttering, what are some other things that we can do to prep our house for sale that are going to inexpensively increase the value of my home?
I think cleaning up your landscaping, obviously hiring a handyman and just tightening up some loose ends around the house, you'd be amazed. Just screwing in a working light bulb. When people sell a house and, if they have 3 working light bulbs and the 4th one is out, that changes the look of the house. And it also makes a buyer question. I had one buyer say, are there electrical issues? Because the light bulb was out in the range. So we just replaced the light bulb. And I just think tightening up and fixing any items that need addressing.
You're thinking about putting an offer in on a house. So let's say it's $300,000, and the seller, though, wants you to put down a $20,000 deposit. I mean, how big should the deposit be? And what kind of deposit is just too big to buy your next dream home? Let's answer that question and more right on the other side of this very short break. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
There's no deposit too big.
Yeah, right. If you're the listing agent. Well, I guess either. Okay.
As long as you know, you want all the deals to go through.
Right,
so.
right.
But you guys are hilarious.
Do we have a card?
Yes.
We're going to play a little trivia now.
Yay!
Yes, and...
It's trivia.
Yeah.
She's like, wait a minute. Playing what? Playing trivia. Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Let's do...
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the show. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. My name is attorney Justin Clark. Thanks for spending your evenings here with us just after live, local, and loud Nicky Football. Great show tonight. I have the beautiful Brianna to my right. Hello, Brianna. How are you?
Hey, Justin.
Good to see you. If you have any questions during the program, 321-282-1055. Plenty of information is also on the website, youhavepower.com, youhavepower.com. Don't forget, 2 TV shows for you this weekend and every single weekend. Saturday, 12:30 p.m., CBS. It is You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. And then Sunday mornings at 10 a.m., it is this show, Behind the Law, but it's Behind the Law on television on TV 27 at 10 o'clock in the morning. A very special guest joining us today. She is with Regal Real Estate Professionals. Her name is JJ Mackel. It rhymes with tackle. That's what you told me. We did the TV show together before, and I said, I just want to make sure I know how to pronounce it. You said, it rhymes like tackle. And I've always remembered that, so I'll never mispronounce your last name. How you doing, JJ? Thanks for being here.
I'm doing great. Thank you.
So before the show, or before the break, we were talking about staging a little bit, because when you're going to sell a home, obviously you want to get the maximum value that you can get. Do you recommend staging houses?
Yes, absolutely. Staged homes sell quicker than others. And if you can't afford to stage, your real estate agent can lightly stage the home for you and sort of declutter and put in a few clean towels, new bedspreads on the bed.
Yeah.
And put some fresh flowers out. So there's light staging you can do if you don't want to hire a professional stager. But
and if I'm going to hire a stager to literally bring in furniture and things like that, is that only if the house is vacant, or do they trade in the furniture to get cooler stuff, or what is it?
They can absolutely work with your own existing furniture. They can bring in new furniture, and vacant homes, obviously, you can show a different look with staging. I highly recommend staging.
Give me some kind of cost. If someone's going to stage my whole house, any idea what it costs?
Oh, they're across the board. It's usually a monthly
$500 a month, more, less.
No, I'd say 500 and up.
Okay.
It just depends on what you're doing. And some people stage just a few rooms.
Right.
So it really depends.
All right, we're going to talk plenty more real estate, but first we're going to play a little trivia game. All right, Brianna's going to ask us 4 questions.
Uh-oh. Okay.
We'll answer all 4 questions. We'll come back and score the game. Do not stress. She loves to see me lose. It's probably going to be a category that you know something about. Are you ready to play?
I am.
Let's do this.
All right, and now it's time for Stop the Clarky. Come on, Clarky. We need you to get over here. We've got some great trivia questions we want you to answer. Come on, Clarky. Get over here.
Brianna, what is said category today?
Today's category is all about residential real estate.
Residential real estate. Shocking. I could have never guessed. All right, let's play this game.
Absolutely. Starting off with question number 1. Home prices in the Orlando real estate market are expected to rise by what percentage by the end of 2019? Home prices in the Orlando real estate market are expected to rise by what percentage by the end of... She's flipping through. What is this?
I'm like literally...
Did she bring a cheat sheet?
It seems that way.
Okay. We'll let it slide. We'll see if it helps her.
I feel like this is going to be an inflated number that's actually technically should be smaller, but I'm going to go with the smaller instinct.
I'm going to be off on this one because...
That's all right.
Don't worry. It's not,
All right. Question number 2.
Question
do I
number...
write them?
Yeah, you can just write it down. We'll come back and score them in a minute. Go
got
ahead.
it.
Question number 2. According to Zillow, what is the median home value in Orlando? According to Zillow, what is the median home value in Orlando?
He might get these.
I don't know.
I'm
guessing here.
Yeah, he is.
I'm definitely guessing.
The more ambiguous, the better.
All right, question. And by the way, play along at home with us if you will. At Behind the Law Radio, you can enter your answers right there for a chance to win. Go to at Behind the Law Radio, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Brianna, question number 3.
According to Realtor.com, what is the median rent per month for an apartment in the Orlando market? According to Realtor.com, what is the median rent per month for an apartment in the Orlando market?
Now, this is the number that should scare you, ladies and gentlemen, if you're still renting.
It's kind of a scary
You
number.
need to get out there and buy. We were talking to Tyler, who is the producer yesterday of the show. He has a studio apartment that he's paying $1,100 a month for. And it's not even like in Thornton Park. It's like north of downtown,
It
is.
It is.
It's ridiculous. Crazy.
Rent rates are crazy, but
They're
I
nuts.
don't know if you're talking about a 1-bedroom or...
Outrageous.
So...
All right, it is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando, Justin Clark. Brianna is here, and I'm playing against JJ Mackel, Regal Real Estate Professionals, in this edition of Stump the Clarky. One final question tonight. Brianna, fire away.
So, as of May 2019, what is the overall inventory of homes that are available for purchase in Orlando?
Uh-oh.
As of May 2019, what is the overall inventory of homes that are available for purchase in the Orlando market?
She definitely
have it.
She definitely
I
has
think
a
I
cheat
have
sheet
it.
on this one. That's fine. Look,
those
if
are
you need
June
to-
numbers. It's wrong. Think of May
wait. No, I've got-
2019. Okay.
I think I've got it right.
Don't quote June because I have May. As per the question.
I
Ready
could
to
still
score
be
this
off, but
game
that's
up?
that's fine. Yeah, let's square it up.
Let's do it.
All right, let's score this game. Brianna, let's go. What was question number 1?
Question number 1. Home prices in the Orlando real estate market are expected to rise by what percentage by the end of 2019?
I believe this number is going to be higher than what I guessed, but I still think I'm right. But JJ Mackel, we'll go with you first. What did you say?
I'm going to be way off on this
Okay.
one, but I said 12%.
And I went way lower. Your answer is probably going to be, the correct answer is probably going to be like 10%. I went with 4% because I don't think it's going to go up that much. What did your research tell you?
It's 5%.
5%.
Oh, there you
Okay.
go. That's good.
See, I was already angry because I thought the answer was going to be higher, but anyway. All right, I'll take it. All right, Justin Clark pulls ahead 1-0 heading into question number
gonna
2. I don't think so. All
JJ,
right.
figure this out. Just work it out. Come on.
Brianna hates it when I win, which is pretty often.
According to Zillow, what is the median home value in Orlando?
All right, I will start on this one. I feel like I'm pretty close, but I'm not sure. I went with $228,000. JJ, what did you say?
I think it's like around 240, but I said 285.
285.
Wait, you think it's what?
I thought it was around the 240s, but I'm gonna go with just 285.
She's trying
She's
to.
mad. She's mad. I know.
No, she wanted you to say 240, but anyway.
Well, I thought about it, but I'm just. It's okay. It's okay.
She's
we
locked
can
in
give
at
it to
285.
Justin. Okay, he does.
241.
Oh, see,
wow.
my first thought was right, but
That's all right.
that's okay.
Look, if you get one exactly right, you get 2
you
points
snooze,
too.
you
so
lose. I'm learning that. Okay.
you still have 2 more to go here. I pull ahead 2-0, but 2 more questions to go.
It's fine.
Brianna,
No, it's not.
what was question number 3?
According to Realtor.com, what is the median rent per month for an apartment in Orlando?
Let's go to JJ Mackel. What did you say?
I have no clue because I don't know if you're talking about 1 bedroom, but I said $1,500 a month. I know it's high though.
Yeah.
It's high.
And I think the average rental rate in Orlando right now, but I think this is including houses, is like $1,480. So with just apartments, I went with $1,300. What's the right answer?
1,700.
What?
Woo! I got one.
What? Okay, you're. I don't know where you're getting.
No,
Good
I knew
job.
I knew it's high because I watched those rentals
Good.
for my. So.
All right, good deal. All right, so 2-1. Justin Clark right ahead of JJ Mackel with 1 question to go for a Wednesday night edition of Stump the Clark. The final question, Brianna.
As of May 2019, what is the overall inventory of homes that are available for purchase in the Orlando market?
So, I did a little educated guessing here. And I think we sell like 2,500 a month, something like that on average. I could be wrong. She has the stats over there, I know. But I feel like the inventory is way higher and going up. But I think I went too high. I went with 11,000 properties for sale. JJ, what do you have?
I went with 8,100
And that
because I've seen the
it's
market
definite-
pulse.
It's definitely in the 8s. I know she's right. What is it?
This little market pulse.
8,000.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Somebody
Give it to her.
needs
Good
to read
job.
it. Somebody's gonna read their market
good job.
pulse.
We tied 2-2. Excellent work tonight. Thank you for playing. Good job. Good comeback there. I like
Okay,
it.
folks, thank you so much for being with us. Clarky, let's get out of here, buddy. My stomach thinks my throat's cut. I'm starving.
One final segment coming up, answering your questions about real estate after this very short break. Stick around. It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
That was funny.
Good comeback.
I'm telling you, that market pulse is the
It's
best
good,
resource
right?
for.
Yeah. I see that sometimes. I don't. Do you have to be a subscriber, or how do you get it?
You have
People
to be a
just
member
give it
of
to me.
Aura.
Yeah, that's
so,
what it is.
Yeah. And they also break it down, which is nice. They give you talking points, which I love.
All right, you ready?
Yeah. Let's,
Were you okay with a tie?
Oh yeah, tie's fine.
I'll take it. That means he didn't win.
Yeah. All right.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
One final segment ahead of Wednesday night edition of Behind the Law, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando. Thanks for spending your evenings here with us. 8 o'clock. My name is Justin Clark. I've got Brianna here to my right. JJ Mackel, Regal Real Estate Professionals, joins me to my left on the red microphone. Down payments. All right, I'm buying a house. I'm going to pay $300,000 to purchase the house. But I don't want to, mortgage my future on this down payment. What if something goes wrong and then the seller won't give it back? What sort of down payment or deposit am I really looking at that I need to make to the title company to really send this contract into the seller?
Well, you want to show that you're serious, and I think minimum most people do 1%. Mm-hmm. We love those cash buyers, but you really need to have a good buying agent who knows the contract and knows how to get you out if you choose to cancel, so you do not risk your deposit. And now with the new loan commitment date, once you go past that date, they consider you've made your loan commitment if you do not cancel before then. So I tell my buyers, I'm like, during the inspection, that's when we really need to decide if we're going to stay with this house or not.
Right.
Because our chances to cancel are slim later on. And we still have to go by the contract. We still have to do our due diligence by submitting everything to that lender. If we're not doing that, the seller can argue that we're breaching the contract.
So when you do put a contract in as a buyer, okay, so fine. We'll do 1%. Let's say I'm offering $300,000. I'll put $3,000 as a deposit amount. And then I think generally speaking, we assume that we're going to close in 30 days, 40 days, something like that. I think that's probably about average. 30 days is the rule of thumb, I believe. But as the buyer, I mean, I need to really get on this thing. What do I need to do after we both sign the contract? What's my next step?
Well, submitting your deposits, how you have a valid contract. And again, if you want to, if it has multiple offers, if you want to offer more of a deposit and say, look, we're really serious and, we can close this loan, that's another way of showing the seller that we can really get this done. But the first thing you definitely want to do is deliver that deposit. That's the most important thing, to have a valid contract. We won't even turn it pending until we receive that deposit.
And then at some point, I assume I want to do some type of inspection, right?
Oh, yes.
Do you always tell your buyers to do an inspection, or do you ever say, oh, don't worry about it, the house looks fine?
I pretty much all the time say it, unless you have someone that's just going to tear the house down.
Yeah.
But you want a good buying agent who can point out certain issues before you spend money on an inspection. You want to see if there's poly plumbing, or there's a Federal Pacific panel, or is the roof of a certain age, and see certain things that you can point out to your buyer so they're at least aware before they have those items pointed out for an inspection.
Gotcha. And then how long do I have typically once I sign that contract to get my inspection done?
Typically, I would say most of them are 7 to 10 days. Occasionally, you've seen some people give like a 15 or longer because maybe they're traveling, or maybe they're having a holiday weekend, like over Mother's Day weekend. We had some people agree to a longer inspection, but typically it's 7 to 10 days.
So let's say that I have my inspector go in there and they say, well, the roof's pretty old. What is sort of the typical age of a roof where a buyer's going to want to go in and say, look, I need a new roof? What's the age? When do they start breaking down?
Around 20 plus years or so. I mean, like if you've got a 10-year-old roof, that's moderate, and it depends on the condition. I mean, if it's a tile roof, they last longer. So it really just depends on what the roof is made of.
What about AC units?
Oh, yeah. I think that's around 20 to 30 years as well. That would be. But, I mean, as long as they've been serviced, if you're still servicing your AC, you can get around that with offering the buyers a home warranty, which would ensure that AC unit. And if it goes out, the home warranty would replace it.
It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Justin Clark here, talking to JJ Mackel with Regal Real Estate Professionals. Okay, so we do the inspection 7 days after going under contract. I just don't like something about this house. Can I back out then for anything?
If you have an as-is contract, absolutely. It's buyer's sole discretion. We also attach an inspection addendum on a regular contract. So yes, my buyer on a regular contract can also back out. But if you do not attach that addendum, you usually have to have some reason to back out, or at least let the seller rectify it. Most agents are using as-is contracts. And if they're asking for repairs, they're big items, like, something that would blow the deal.
So, but when you say as-is contracts, I think a lot of us who don't live in this world that you and I live in are going to think, look, I'm buying this house as is. No matter what happens, no matter what I find in there, I've got to buy it. I'm buying it as is. That's not really how it works, is it?
Well, I like them, but occasionally if I think there's some permitting issues, I'll do the regular contract, because that means the seller has to help repair those. But I like them simply because I don't want the seller making the repairs themselves. I know I will make the best repairs. I will hire the right crew.
I see.
And so sometimes the seller will take the cheap way out to get sometimes they'll do it correctly.
So as is really means that if I find anything wrong, we're going to negotiate the money part of it, but I'm going to do the repairs myself?
It depends. Like, typically. But if there's something that will be a red flag to other buyers. The seller will typically bend. Like, say there's, mold issues, or there's an infestation in the attic,
Ugh.
or, there's improper wiring. That's an issue that's going to come up with other buyers. So sometimes you'll get more movement with those big issues. With repairing a GCI outlet or something like that, I mean, we can handle that. So...
All right, so we go through the inspection period. I'm the buyer, and everything's fine. I'm very happy. I want to continue my purchase on this house. How long do I have then to get approved for a mortgage before I could back out?
Well, typically, we give 30 days, or I've seen 20 to 30. But, the minute that you apply for that mortgage, you need to start submitting documents.
Right.
And you need to do due diligence because time is of the essence. And that's what I tell a lot of buyers. Like, you can't just not submit items to the lender, because the selling agent can call the lender and say, have they been submitting those documents? Yeah. And if they say no, that's a breach.
Yeah. And absolutely. And there's no doubt about it that if you're working on buying a house, you need to listen to what your mortgage person's saying, and you need to get them the documents over right away, or you risk losing your dream home, and certainly you risk losing your deposit as well.
Absolutely, and that's why your buying agent keeps you busy and lets you know those dates.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You talked earlier about Aura a little bit, and I hear about Aura a lot. I know it's that place down on Lee Road, but what really is Aura?
Well, I get free coffee at Aura.
Is that right? Is it
Yes,
good,
I do.
or is it like
it's pretty good? It's
an
pretty
oil
good.
change place
Yes.
coffee?
No, they're great. They answer a lot of questions. One of the biggest things I like about Aura is realtors are members where they can have access to the legal hotline.
Okay.
So, if there's a weird legal issue, I can call the legal hotline and get a second opinion. So that's nice. But, we have them for the MLS, which is a great service. And I would say they're a great group of people and a great resource. And they're always there for the realtor, the strong community.
JJ Mackel, there must be 1,000 different websites right now that I can go to start my house hunt, right? I can go here, I can go there, I can go to 1,000 different real estate agencies. If you were really going to go start your hunt for a house right now, what website would you go to, or who would you call?
Well, I would recommend the MLS system. And the reason why is we have the most up-to-date, correct information. And I think Zillow and Realtor.com and Trulia all are good resources as well. But occasionally you're going to get incorrect information. It's outdated, or they're pulling, numbers from neighborhoods that don't have the right comps. So I'd recommend going to, your local MLS with your buying agent.
So you need to go find an agent and then go look at places with your agent.
Yes, I'm here.
Last question. If I'm just doing my house hunt on my own and I call the listing agent, should I let them handle both sides of the deal, or should I have my own agent?
I always recommend having a buyer's agent because they're your best advocacy. But I've seen deals where the listing agent handles both sides, and that's fine as well. But we always recommend an agent for each side of the deal.
Buying or selling real estate in Central Florida, call JJ Mackel, Regal Real Estate Professionals. How do I reach out?
321-217-9553.
Brianna, good job today. Maybe I'll see you again tomorrow.
Maybe.
I hope so. JJ, excellent job. Great to see you.
Thank
Hope
you
to
so
see you
much.
again soon. I don't know much, Brianna, but I do know one little thing.
What's that?
I will see you right back here tomorrow night, 8 o'clock p.m. on ESPN 580 Orlando. Thank you.
Bye-bye.